Today, we're going to show you new ways of learning and transferring knowledge. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Facts on Open Automation show. Gaining and retaining knowledge is a serious problem nowadays for any organization, I guess also for yours. And organizations spend a lot on innovative training solutions to overcome this. Anyway, digital natives nowadays expect training to be different, to be more engaging and available anytime, anywhere, because as this training pyramid suggests, a simple audio-visual experience like you have it now with this show, you will retain only 20% of the information presented in this show. So let's explore today open, innovative training solutions. And I mean by exploring, now really exploring, because you can test everything what we show today right after the show. And my splendid guest today to discuss this topic with me is Phil Reed and Olympio Datgo. Hello, Phil. Hello, Oli.
Hi, Laszlo.
Hi, Laszlo.
So let's start with the situation. What is the situation with knowledge nowadays at manufacturing sites?
Well, Laszlo, the whole industry is struggling to find skilled workforce. Studies say that up to 25% of the existing skilled workforce will retire in the next 5 years. 25%, that's an alarming number. The alarm bells must be ringing. If that becomes a fact, how will our industry continue? Mm-hmm. So it's hugely important that we help you, our customers, to support onboarding of your new employees and to help pass on the knowledge of your existing skilled workforce. And that way we can help you maintain your performance.
So how did the expectation towards the level of knowledge of the production staff changed over the past 10 years?
It's quite easy to say things were a lot simpler 10 years ago, but that is actually a fact. They were. Things are more complicated now. We have more processes involved, we have more equipment involved, and add to that the amount of software involved, then the amount of knowledge that individuals need to maintain has increased a lot. And the other thing that we should also remember 10 years ago, that individual pieces of equipment or individual pieces of software, their own experts. That's changed massively. So now we have less people having to know more, and they have to know more, have more knowledge and have more experience than they did in the past. That's the situation as it is today compared to 10 years ago.
So far more pressure on the individual.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Olympio, how did the expectation of the production staff change towards training?
I would say it also changed quite a lot. Maybe to put it a little bit in contrast is like horseback riding versus motorcycle riding. Or even better, I brought with me a manual. This is what it used to be like 10 years ago. And this is what it is today. Mm-hmm. So I would say 10 years ago we have compared cubic feet of printed paper versus now digital content rendered on a hardware device that is, you just need bandwidth and you have it. Basically, these younger generations, I would say they would get lost on a 500 pages manual that we have been printing out for 10 years. They are looking at content differently. They are looking at content on YouTube, like this very show. They are looking on our proprietary academy that we have. They are looking at various platforms that are available on the internet, specifically for tailored learning on exactly what they need. And you don't need to carry on with you anything but a phone or a laptop, and then you have it. This is how it changed.
Yes, fantastic. So, Phil, you mentioned two measurements, onboarding and retaining of knowledge. How do you want to realize those two measures?
Well, at ASMPT, we've been working actively over the last few years, developing and digitizing our training solutions and developing our new innovative blended learning approach. And this is now bringing massive benefits to our customers. So this is what we call our ASMPT Academy.
I would add to this that in addition to the academy that Phil just mentioned, we have also developed a product called Virtual Assist, through which you can aggregate and collect all the knowledge that your experienced workforce has today on the job and also enable the newer, younger generations or maybe more junior workforce that you have on the same position to leverage whatever these guys, experienced guys, put actually on the platform. So with this, we are basically enabling younger generations to profit of the knowledge or to benefit of the knowledge available already in your factory, on your facility, while at the same time decoupling the dependency between these two persons. And the even better fact on that is that you are not limited to just ASMPT. It is actually completely open to the world. It is a complete factory solution in this case.
So two latest technology, open, innovative training solutions. Let's start with the first one. Can you expand more on ASMPT Academy?
Yeah, well, Laszlo, Olympia already explained that the newer younger generations expect to learn differently. We talked about the millennial generation who are the future of our industry. So we're also talking about the YouTube, TikTok generation. They really do expect to learn in an engaging way, not by reading manuals, but by being interactive. So that's what we're looking to develop. But we also need to make sure that we have our generation can pass on the knowledge as well. So we have to include that in our scenario as well.
Just to compare, what was the traditional training method?
Okay, well, the traditional training model was based on a 70, 20, 10% model. And what we mean by that was 70% of knowledge was actually gained from on-the-job training, 20% with interaction with your colleagues, and only 10% only from actual formal training. So what we've got to do now is look at the way we can provide solutions that actually take the 10% up to a 50 to 60% model. And that's why we've started to develop our blended learning approach, where we have interaction with our skilled specialist trainers. And when we talk about our e-learning solutions, we're developing these learning solutions that are interactive and engage the employees in a way that helps them benefit and learn in a more natural way and retain more knowledge.
Okay, Phil, but these new methods, don't they only work for software-related topics?
Yes, Laszlo, a lot of people do actually believe that, but it's not true. We use this for hardware training as well. We've developed 3D animations, and we've developed 2D and 3D virtuality. And the advantage of the virtuality is it actually allows you to immerse yourself in a real digital world and allows you to carry out certain tasks within the training in a virtual way. We have our 3D goggles, and we also have 2D VR. The advantage of the 2D VR, we don't need this specialist equipment, can use this on any PC. But Laszlo, I've prepared a short video for our audience today, which will explain our ASMPT Academy and allow us to show you our digital learning solutions.
So let's watch that.
Let's go ahead, please. The ASMPT Academy is our state-of-the-art learning management system, which is the platform to educate our customers in all aspects of our ASMPT hardware and software solutions. We use a variety of different learning solutions to deliver knowledge in the most effective way to enable our customers to onboard new employees and to enhance the skills of experienced staff. Let's take a look at our e-learning solutions. Program your PCBs with our interactive software simulation modules and learn how to perform operating and maintenance tasks with help of instructional videos. Machine functions and components are demonstrated with CAD animations in an easy-to-understand manner. Whether your focus is on maintenance, technology or software, our target group-oriented e-learning courses let you update and upgrade your professional knowledge in an easily and effective manner. We constantly update these courses and add new ones. Many of our technical courses are linked to our virtual reality 2D and 3D modules. Do you need to gain practical experience or want to refresh your knowledge? Enter one of our virtual training rooms to practice on our machines, train workflows, and carry out assembly and disassembly steps. Do it as often as you want, anytime, anywhere, with our 2D and 3D virtual reality courses. Lots of screws and processes, no machine available to practice, no problem. With virtual reality, You are guided step by step through work processes in a realistic way. The software tells you each step and you choose the correct tool and conduct the task. Here we can see an example of a trainee learning how to replace parts on a squeegee mechanism. Do you want to take a closer look at a machine? Know where each subsystem is located and to see what normally is not visible? With Virtual Reality Explore, you have the possibility to select and view certain parts, zoom in, rotate, and learn in a playful way. Here we see an example of a trainee exploring a DEC TQL machine. With all our virtual reality experiences are available in both 2D and 3D, so our customers have the option to use either or both. Now let's consider our innovative approach to learning, blended learning. Blended learning allows the best of both worlds to be combined from both e-learning and instructor-led training. Would you like to continue your training conveniently at your workplace? Would you like to learn independently and also be trained in a guided manner and have a contact person? You want a bit of everything? Our blended learning offer makes this possible. With our blended learning, you get a mix of self-learning with the help of e-learning and hands-on training in one of our training centres or remotely accompanied by one of our product experts. The curriculum starts with predefined e-learning modules. These are followed by an instructor-led session in which the knowledge attained in the e-learning modules is solidified with the help of exercises and questions and answers from the instructor. This blended learning approach is rapidly becoming the new standard in training, and we at ASMPT are leading the way. We have pioneered this approach for both hardware and software products for over a year now, and we have very positive feedback from many of our customers who have enjoyed this learning experience. The benefits are clear. For software training, there are no travel costs. The entire learning experience is carried out remotely, with each student having their own cloud-based software environment with access to an expert trainer. For hardware training, the basic knowledge is obtained through remote sessions using e-learning modules and again having access to an experienced trainer. This prepares the student before they get hands-on training at our training centres. The learning process is more efficient, the knowledge retention is better, and again, travel costs are reduced compared to the past due to the shorter duration of the sessions in the training centre.
ASMPT Academy, which you can test for yourself immediately. Just click on the link in the info box. Olympio, so Phil mentioned 25% of the workforce will retire the next 5 years. So how do we capture the knowledge of those guys?
You're right, Laszlo. 25% of the workforce leaving means probably 75% more pressure on the ones remaining. So we would better try to capture that somehow. But imagine you have a tool that can mentor all these new guys on the job with anything what they have to work through the whole day with specific knowledge documented by the very experienced guys that are about to leave in the next 5 years. But let's take a look at the video. We have a quite nice video that will explain both the problem and a little bit of the solution before we dive into explaining it.
Let's watch the video.
Today's maintenance and technical support teams in SMT and semiconductor production must handle significant complexity under time pressure. They must gather all relevant information, perform hands-on troubleshooting, and make decisions based on their training level and experience. Finding the right answers often feels like looking for the needle in the haystack of manuals, notes, and service reports. This often ends in asking colleagues and second or third level support for help. This is where Virtual Assist comes in. Just like you would normally ask a coworker, you can ask Virtual Assist for help. Virtual Assist finds the right information for you by searching through the entire knowledge base of ASMPT machines using artificial intelligence. A knowledge base that is fed with information by coworkers and users around the globe, and which is updated and approved by ASMPT. Additionally, you'll benefit from step-by-step tutorials, videos, and systematic troubleshooting to get your daily tasks done safer and faster. Of course, your production line isn't made up exclusively of ASMPT machines. to give you access to the information you truly need. You can upload your own documentation and create content in your secure and private area. Put all this together and you get Virtual Assist, the digital assistant that gives you certainty about how to keep equipment in the best condition, saves time in maintenance, keeps production running smoothly, and makes everyone on the production happy.
So engaging video about Virtual Assist, really cool, Oli.
Thank you.
So how does Virtual Assist exactly work?
So basically what we do in this case is, first and foremost, we are trying to share our knowledge as a hardware and software supplier within our industry with all our users globally through leveraging, I would say, the latest technologies available in this direction. Just to name one, for example, it will be natural language processing, which means you just talk to the device and you get back a response. On top of this, the users of your company, for example, would have the possibility in their own dedicated private area, which is 100% sealed just for them, to upload their own documentation of whatever. And the same way they are asking on information from our material that we are providing, they would have the possibility to ask on information from any vendor, any equipment, any software, any process, anything in this case.
Then I have a question. We have now 2023 and almost every day there's news about ChatGPT, Alexa, artificial intelligence. Is it like those applications?
Good question, Laszlo. Thanks for asking it because I get it at least once a week. So I would say it's similar, but it's not exactly the same. It is similar in the process of asking a question and getting a response, but it's a lot more tailored specifically to our industry, to our SMT industry. The big advantage of our application is that we can control the input, our documentation, through which we can also control the output in this case. Whereas ChatGPT is based on an algorithm trained on publicly available information, which you cannot control that easily. But I think the easiest thing to do is show you a demo of the application because I have it with me here and we can talk about it. So you would just ask the question, how do I change the DP drive on a CPP head? And you would get a response for that. Looking at the response, you can tap on it. You would see it jumps right away in a tutorial, for example, that is leading you step by step in a 14, 16, 17, 21 steps in total to change the DP drive, even if you didn't do it at all. So you just tap on it, execute whatever it does, it says in there, and you're good to go. This easy it is.
It's a verified answer to your question, and it's the latest technology also for the digital natives.
Correct. And even on top of that, if you want to, at any point in time later on, come up with a better, newer, more optimized solution, you upload it once in the system and everybody using it will leverage that right away. No more sending per post of documentation, no more I see something, you see something else. It's one and the same for all. And it can be validated by somebody that did it already.
Olympia, you mentioned it a few times, but how exactly does this app support collaboration between employees?
Very good question, Laszlo. There is actually quite a lot of ideas that come to mind in this situation. And I'm pretty sure that once real customers are starting to use the application more and more, this will just blow up into an unlimited amount of options that you might have in there. But let's just do an exercise of imagination in this case. Supposing I am a new employee, a new technician on a facility where both of us are working, and I have to fix a problem with a conveyor. Something happened to my shift and I would have to fix it. Because I'm new, I really don't know much about it 1 week into the job. You, Laszlo, on the other hand, are also a technician. But unlike me, you have like 20-ish years of experience on the job, so you would know how to fix the problem maybe in a blink of an eye. I don't. And even worse, you're on vacation. No network coverage, no possibility to access anything to reach you. So I guess I'm kind of on my own in this situation. Or am I? Because I remember you told me right before you went on vacation that you completed the onboarding material, tutorials, articles, everything about the conveyors. And I'm expecting someone to find maybe a solution in the application for that. So I just open up the application, look for that tutorial, and voila, here is the answer. I go through the steps that I have, like 10 steps in there, 15 minutes into the job, the conveyor is working, my line is producing, and everybody's happy again. So I guess, thank you, Laszlo, for helping me even while you were out on vacation somewhere.
So it's always good to have a Laszlo in the company.
This is indeed always good to have a Laszlo in the company, indeed. Imagine this is how you could then collaborate worldwide, wherever you are, always.
Cool. So, Phil, we heard a lot of benefits regarding gaining knowledge and retaining knowledge. Are there other benefits as well?
Yes, I would say so, Laszlo. I'd summarise it into 3 areas. We've got the availability, we've got cost, and we've got continuity. And what do I mean by that? Well, when we talk about availability, we have to balance the availability of staff to do their job and the availability of them to do their training. So that balance has to be right. And also, we have to talk about the availability of the actual training. We need a flexible approach here because training can be planned months in advance, but can be cancelled at the last minute. So we need to have the flexibility in it to get the training available when it's actually needed. Then when it comes to costs, we have to consider a couple of things here. If I have the knowledge in my pocket and the information readily available, it's very super fast. I can solve problems quickly. I can always solve problems much more quickly when you have the knowledge and experience on site rather than relying on a service provider. So it's much more cost effective to solve problems quickly. And then also related to cost, we have the cost of actual training someone. Sending people to training courses in a training centre for weeks at a time, it costs a lot of money. And it's not really possible. It was the old world. So now we've changed where we have solutions to provide knowledge in a much more cost-effective way. And then finally, continuity. What do I mean by that? Well, your knowledge continuously needs to be refreshed. Even if you've attended training maybe 6 months ago, that training may no longer be relevant because of updates. So we need to provide a method of delivering knowledge and delivering training on a continuous basis. So this is what our solutions really provide, the solutions we've talked about today. We have the 3 elements of availability, cost, and continuity covered.
Fantastic, fantastic 2 tools. Thanks, gentlemen. It was a pleasure that you have shared your knowledge with us.
You're welcome.
And I have also some final knowledge for our audience. First of all, as mentioned, don't forget to explore those 2 tools. You will find a link to them in the info box. Also, we have a white paper for you for download. If you want to see ASMPT live at an event, you can find us at following event, which you will find in the ticker down below. Please don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. We will see us next month for the next show. And until then, have a nice day and stay open.